Welcome back, everyone, to WCS Season 2 Finals here at Gamescom. And right now we have a special little event. We are going to get to interview none other than The Marine and Go Rush, coming out from Korea from OnGameNet, and of course, two very well-known Brood War pro players. So welcome them to the stage. We're going to get to hear what they have to say about WCS. All right, and I just told you guys, these two, I mean, well-respected Brood War players, and if you follow Brood War, I'm sure you know their names, their faces, but back then things were very different for esports, so I want to see what they think about this stage now at Gamescom in 2013. 그럼 이제 뭐 e스포츠가 그전에는 선수로 활동하셨었는데 이만큼까지 발달한 거를 보시면서 기분이 어떠신가요?
네, 저는 이제 트위치 TV에서만 봤었는데 이렇게 현장에 와서 이렇게 외국 팬분들 많은 걸 되게 보고 싶었어요. 실제로 와 보니까 이 늦은 시간에 현장에 이제 다들 돌아갔는데도 스타 팬들이 이렇게 남아 있는 거 보니까 굉장히 감동적입니다.
And the Marine says, you know, I've only watched on Twitch in terms of foreign tournaments until now, and I've always wanted to come and sit with the audience, but I'm so impressed because for those of you guys who are not here, you may not realize that the entire venue is pretty much empty at this point. It's just us left for WCS, and the Marines. I'm so impressed that StarCraft 2 fans are still dedicated right here to watch WCS until these late hours here at Gamescom. 박대민 선수, 그러면 해설씨님은 뭐 어떻게 특별한 게 느끼신 거 있으신가요?
I'm sorry, I have no idea. Just kidding. 일단 아침부터 이렇게 와가지고 지금까지 이렇게 봐주시는 그런 열정에 대해서 굉장히 저도 놀랐고요. 영어로. I'm impressed about that. Yeah, 어쨌든. 사실 저도 여기 와서 저희가 WCS를 중계를 했었는데 싶은 마음이 커요. 그래도 또 이제 외국 해설진들이 너무나 중계를 잘해주고 열정이 넘쳐서 재미있게 보고 있습니다.
And Gorosh, of course, also saying that he's very impressed with the environment, but also, you know, these guys cast right now for StarCraft 2 back in Korea, and Gorosh says, as a caster, of course, I always want to cast WCS, but the casters we have today, give a big round of applause to them, because Gorosh says their excitement, their entertainment helps him enjoy the games as, you know, just another fan, another spectator, along with everyone else here. So big round of applause to our amazing commentators. And now, of course, we got to ask about this last game, because the results may not have been what we were expecting. 자, 그러면 이제 뭐 결과가 좀 놀라운 결과가 몇 개 있었어요. 오늘 이제 이신영 선수도 이제 16강에서 탈락하시고, 지금 마루 조성주 선수도 그런 위기 상태였는데 좀 아까까지 그런 걸 보면서 기분이 어떠세요?
그렇게 이변이 나오기 때문에 이것을 또 우리가 이제 e스포츠라고 하는 거고, 네, 항상 이길 것 같은 선수가 이긴다라면 재미가 없을 것 같아요. 네, 그런 이변을 보면서 굉장히 즐거웠고, 이신영 선수의 탈락은 전혀 예상하지 못했었지만, 그러한 탈락 또한 재미다라는 생각이 들면서 이번 WCS 유럽 시즌 정말 재밌게 올라가는 것 같습니다.
근데 그거는 지금 해설을 하셔서 그렇게 말씀하시지, 솔직히 선수실 때는 똑같은 삶이 계속 이겼으면 좋은 생각 없으세요? 자신이라면.
같이 부리지 말라고.
저는 항상 그렇게 이기고 싶었는데 많이 이겨보질 못했고, 네, 그런 부분에서 별로 그런 생각 안 해봤어요. 그러니까 원래 이게 축구공이 둥글듯이 e스포츠도 똑같다, 뭐 그렇게 생각합니다.
We just had a good laugh because I gotta explain. I asked him about the upsets we may have had with innovation and, you know, Maru not looking so good against aLive, and the Marine says, I mean, that's what makes it fun, right? If the same player was always expected to win and the favorites always came back to take the finals, it wouldn't be fun. And I had to take a jab and say, but when you were a player, you would have liked if the same person won all the time, because if that was you. And he's like, well, I didn't win that much, so I never really expected that to happen, nor was I able to enjoy that. 그러면 뭐 박재민님은 어떻게 보셨어요, 오늘 대회?
호칭이 자주 바뀌시는 것 같은데 하여튼 해설로 통일 좀 해주셨으면 좋겠고 저는 이미 예상을 했습니다. I already expected.
왜 그렇게?
저는 전혀 이변이라 생각하지 않았고, 오늘 이 조성주 선수가 뭐 진 거나 이런 것들도 맞잖아, 그거. 지금 그런 얘기 한 거죠. 네. 저는 지고, 왜냐하면은 한 번 정도는 이게 맞춤 전략이나 이런 걸 질 수가 있기 때문에. 근데 어쨌든 조성주 선수는 최종전에서 올라갈 거예요.
All right, and Gorish says, yeah, I kind of expected these upsets, especially for Maru. I actually expected him to lose his first match because you can lose to catered builds, you know, certain preparations. But Gorish was very convinced that Maru will be moving on eventually in the group, so we'll have to wait to find that out. But once again, give a big round of applause to the Marine and Gorish coming all the way out here from Korea to enjoy WCS with all of you guys in these late hours. And now we're going to move on with the last match on stage today. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you, Choba. Yes, fantastic to have a couple of legendary Brood War players here in the Gamescom 2013. The WCS Season 2 Finals continues next with the winners game in Group D. Before we get there, though, let's get our thoughts of who's going to play in that winners final from our two commentators.
Well, thank you, Red Eye. Always great to hear from those Korean casters, former legends of Brood War. But right now we have some new legends being made today, Apollo.
We've had some amazing results so far, a really good, but I'd like to say surprising day.
Yes,
with a lot of results coming in that nobody was really expecting. For example, Jaedong to make it through in first place, I don't think many people expected. No. Innovation to be out as the last player in his group. Nobody expected that. And now we have in the winners match, coming up next on stream, Scarlett versus aLive. She got her wish.
I think a lot of people probably thought it would be Maru versus MMA, to be honest. You know, they both are more accomplished than these guys, but here we are. This is the reality we live in, and it is a good one, Apollo. I'm pretty darn excited about this because she did crush aLive before. Yeah. So Scarlett may actually come out in first place. First off, a foreigner come out in first place. That's huge. Okay,
yes,
second,
the Season 2 Finals.
Yeah,
huge.
Only 2 Zergs here. One already came out in first place, unexpected. Another one come out in first place, another unexpected thing. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping, Apollo, but I don't know. aLive obviously playing pretty good.
aLive playing good. Not too many people expected Maru to lose, apart from the Marine there, who actually said he expected Maru to lose. But that guy's just a knowledge bomb right there, Artosis. He knows everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming into this next series, I'm excited for this one because I think that Scarlett has the best chance possible of all the scenarios that could have worked out for her to move through and go into the round of 8 in first place. I think she's heavily favored to do this.
I think there's a very good chance that's going to happen. But you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of times people overtrain in StarCraft, and you actually need time off to reset your brain and play even better than you were before when you were practicing. This is actually a true thing that we see happen from time to time. And you said yourself, Apollo, that aLive was on a little vacation before coming here because he didn't even know he was coming until recently. And maybe that worked out for him because beating Maru is pretty darn impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And we'll see if he can keep up that performance here because Scarlett was nervous against a player that she respected, MMA. She's very confident against aLive, but is that to her detriment here?
It could be. Overconfidence is never good, but without further ado, Red Eye, show us these players.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. We'll be back with our commentators for the final game of the evening very shortly. But first, before we get that, let's just check in with the bracket, just to confirm what they've already told us, but just to make it official. And you can see on the bracket that we've had that incredible... I don't know how to explain it. It's not really the winner's final we were expecting, Joba, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, aLive taking down Maru to move on, and in very convincing fashion for those of you guys who watched that match on stream. I mean, it looked like aLive was actually prepared, and he had known all along that he was going to face Maru. So that was pretty surprising, but he's here now, Paul.
Yeah, he is here, and he's ready to do battle. Let's get up the matchup that is about to take place. It is our final game of the day here on day 1 of 3 at WCS Season 2 Finals. The last game in Group D to decide who goes through to the quarterfinals between these two warriors of StarCraft 2. I can't wait to see how this one pans out because last time Scarlett dominated in this matchup. So, let's bring out the players.
All right, well, we just talked about it. Scarlett last time dominated him, but he's back, and he's just riding a lot of momentum right now, taking down the rising hero of WCS Korea. We are going to invite, first of all, EG aLive.
going up against Evil Genius aLive. You've already seen her once this evening. You made a lot of noise for her first time round. She'll need your support again to see whether she can make the quarterfinals. From Canada, representing Team Acer, Scarlett! Then, final game of the day. Who is our fourth quarterfinalist making it through to tomorrow's quarterfinals? Who is dumped down into the losers bracket to fight their way back towards the quarterfinals? We're about to find out. It's time to go over to our A team of commentators. It's Artosis and Apollo.
All right, it's time, Apollo. This is the last match of the night. We may actually see Scarlett get out in first place, and if we don't, then we see aLive do well again. And that's nice, because this guy has done very well in the past as well. He's a former champion.
Yeah, and that period of time, I think it was early 2012, he was one of the better Terran players out there. He won IPL 4, one of the biggest tournaments at its time, at the hardest time of StarCraft then, at that time. He won a big tournament, and he won it in convincing fashion as well. We'll see if he's back. He's one of the highest ranked players here today as well through the WCS point system. The only player to make it to 2 season finals alongside Innovation, who's out now. aLive played in Season 1. He's here in Season 2 as well.
Well, we'll see how far he can actually end up going. Beating Maru is a big step in the right direction. And I got to tell you, EG's been doing very well with these players recently. Jaedong threw in first place. Of course, we had the IEM Shanghai that was pretty EG dominated. And here aLive is. He's getting closer and closer.
Scarlett, though, is on the edge of really breaking through, hopefully, to the top 16 here with a good set of results. The WCS Season 2 Finals offers a lot of WCS points, and I'm sure that Scarlett, alongside a lot of StarCraft fans, would love her to compete at BlizzCon at the end of the year, which is ultimately 16 players through all 3 seasons. The top 16 will play in a tournament to decide who is the best.
It's going to be the craziest tournament of the year, perhaps. You know, that's the only one I can look at and be like, that might be bigger than this. You know, well, we'll see how well she can do. Now, the vetoes are going down. So far, Scarlett has gotten rid of Neoplanet S, whereas aLive got rid of Newkirk and Star Station. Anything weird about this to you, Apollo?
Not so much weird. I like the veto of Star Station here from aLive. I think Star Station plays to Scarlett's playstyle very well. Whether it be just a normal game like we saw from her against MMA, or whether it be the style we talk about yet not seeing it yet, the roach heavy kind of play. So I like these smaller maps. I think Neoplanet S is a great veto, by the way, from Scarlett. A map that Terran players have a very large win rate on. Well, not super large, but a very decent win rate on against Zergs.
You know what I find just slightly interesting is the fact that aLive vetoed the 2 maps that she just beat MMA on. I wonder if he was checking out that match and saying, oh my god, you're really good on these maps. I don't think it's the maps aLive. This is more just the skill of the player, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, definitely he's got a couple of teammates here that can help him out and see if he can push forward in the right direction to be able to beat Scarlett. It's a big game for aLive here. Likewise, a big game for Scarlett, and it is about to begin here as both players make their way to their booth. Looks like Scarlett's booth is occupied, Artosis.
Yes, it looks like it. Sella making his return to pro gaming, perhaps? Well, this is going to be pretty fantastic here, Apollo. What do you think? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what you think, is that Scarlett is just going to kill aLive, but are you sure?
I am, yes.
You're completely sure?
I'm really sure.
How
are you doing?
Turn the stream off. We'll check it later.
How are you doing on things, Artosis?
I'm not completely sure because, yeah, I mean, he did beat Maru. That's pretty strong, but the vacation actually makes me think, oh, you know what? Maybe he got a good reset. Maybe he's just in a really great state of mind right now. He's been relaxing recently. He got to go to this tournament, which he basically has no expectations for. He was put into a very hard group, and he didn't even know he was going, so he wasn't preparing. So I think all that together is setting up the perfect scenario where he doesn't even feel pressure. He's just like, wow, this is bonus.
And thank you guys, if you've been here all day, I'm quite sure a lot of you have done. Thank you very much for being here with us all day. Me and Artosis have been having a lot of fun here. Thanks to you guys as well, a big part of that journey here today. The 3 maps Artosis.
Yes.
Belshir Vestige, I really like this as the starting map. I really like Belshir Vestige, the starting map here. This is really, if aLive can play a good game here on this map, this is a map where if you make no mistakes and you play a solid game, it will go in your favor. Absolutely will. It's a very momentum-based map. If you get that momentum, if you get that aggression rolling, if aLive can bring what he needs to go through as first place in this group, it would set up the rest of the series beautifully, especially if you can trigger the nerves of Scarlett, which she identified is her biggest weakness.
Yes, I have to agree with that, Apollo. You know, as far as Belshir goes, do you like for Terran to play like the innovation / flash style where they expand above or below their main on that high ground location, just rally through for a push towards the 4th? Or do you prefer the more conventional expand over to the side at that 3rd?
Conventional style.
The conventional.
Much so. I much prefer the, you know, expand towards the more aggressive stance. Back when Zerg players were still teching to Hive at a decent time for their own tech to get up to the Ultra's cabin, because there was a natural exploitation which could happen. Whilst that was going on, you could maybe break the Zerg player down on one of the flanks. But nowadays, the recent Zerg style is much more focused on staying on layer units a lot longer.
And that's exactly what she showed us in those last 2 matches, so you may very well be right about that. But, you know, that base is kind of off to the side, that 3rd, so that might be a location that we see her attack a lot, while aLive is trying to push out in another location.
I think one advantage that Scarlett can have going into this series, despite the disadvantage of aLive maybe, you know, having a couple of words of advice from friends or teammates that saw the game, is that Scarlett didn't really do anything aside from one style. She didn't have to bring out any special strategies, any extra tools that she could easily save to make sure she beats aLive.
You know, I could see aLive being more likely than MMA to pull out something a little bit crazy. You know, I could see him do something like, oh, I don't know, a Marauder Hellion push, or maybe even go for a Banshee. I definitely could see him do that. He's definitely a player that mixes it up and does choose a lot of aggressive styles.
I wonder how his confidence level is, though, going up against Scarlett. I mean, we can look at his overall, you know, game so far. He's beat Morrow 2-0, which is a great start here. But how do you think his confidence is going up against Scarlett, who, as you said, lost not that long ago quite severely?
Well, you know, that has to factor into what his mindset is here. He has to be remembering back, be like, oh, that was a brutal 3-0 and I didn't really play bad. So I could see that messing him up. But, you know, for instance, Scarlett, she thinks that MMA is a great player, plays greatly against her in practice, but she got through that mindset and she was able to win. So I'm not counting aLive completely out here.
All right, well, we'll see how this can go on, as we had to just take a moment for aLive. He needed a couple of minutes before we jumped into this game, which we are now almost ready to begin. A couple of seconds, we will start the lowdown here. I'm going to go out and just say it. I think Scarlett 2-0 here, despite aLive beating Morrow 2-0 before.
Well, I'm kind of rooting for that overall. I actually really like aLive. I've known him for a long time since he's on TSL and all, but just to have a foreigner win a group here is a fantastic thing. So I don't know, we'll see about that.
All right, so it's about to begin here, so thank you once again everyone for sticking with us all day, for staying with us down this little downtime, as we have aLive from Team EG coming from the North American region, top 4 in this region, done pretty well for himself, sorry. And I'm wondering where the key to success is, Artosis. I wonder where the key to success is.
Well, with the key, do you mean strategically?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, well, it's on the treasure map at the X. No, well, you know what? Strategically against Scarlett, it's very hard because she shows that she can play so many different types of styles.
And yeah, lots of different types of styles. Not too sure which one's going to come out to play today. But we'll see here as these two players do go head-to-head for the final game of the evening. Artosis, the final game is here.
That is correct. And down here in the bottom right, she might be able to win her group. Give it up for Scarlett from Acer.
Got stung by those lights again, Artosis.
Those lights are getting her, man.
And up here, as the blue Terran, it is EG aLive. have something quite dramatic early on in this game, Autosis.
That is correct, Apollo. This is going to be a double 11 racks.
And if you recall correctly to the post-game interview from Scarlett, said, I was happy that MMA decided to play a macro game because I am also very weak against proxy double barracks and then 8 barracks Reaper. It's one of the two.
Well, I tell you what, she maybe shouldn't have said that because aLive has taken that very seriously here. And with this double 11 racks, we'll see. All right, now this is the important part, guys. We watch when does the pool come up. Does gas come first?
The
One
overload
drone?
is going past as well. It's not staying. It's going to have no vision. It's going to be very, very late. As you said, another drone's coming in as well.
See how many total? Just like
15.
a pool. Okay, that's reasonable. This is definitely something that's possible to be held by Scarlett.
It's reasonable, but still, without seeing it at all, without having an overload to spot for a bunker being made next to the hatchery. Oh.
No,
just
doesn't
out.
quite see.
Just out.
Yeah, that's a little bit unlucky on that scouting pattern there, and that's not the most uncommon place. I've definitely seen people double 11 racks there before, so it's too bad that she didn't end up scouting that, but this is a good choice by aLive. I really do like his choice here of strategy.
We'll see if it's going to work. We'll see if it's going to work here.
And he's bunkering outside of hatchery vision.
Yeah.
He may wait until it finishes even to really show what he's up to.
And well, Scarlett's going to send down a drone to have a quick look-see around, and sees an SCV but doesn't see it.
Oh no! I can't believe she didn't see it because she actually turned around to chase, but does she know what's going on now?
Well, she does now. Hello.
Well,
not good at all.
No, this is, some people might even call it bad. One drone already going down, a lot of lost mining time, 8 Zerglings on the way with 2 Queens. But with 2 bunkers and 2 SCVs and this many Marines out already, I think this hatchery's going down, Apollo.
Is this defendable, Autosis? Is this defendable here?
Yeah, I don't think so, actually.
Well, we're just going to have a moment here to make sure that everything's okay with the game. I don't know, Autosis. I'm not sure if this is defendable.
No, the second bunker looks like it's going to get up. There are a couple spines on the way, and that can help. But I think it's too late. And well, he's not sending down any more SCVs or anything yet. So it's only 2 SCVs to repair. A couple Queens, probably up to 10 Lings.
It's a very tense moment right now in the middle of defending this. So we'll see if Scarlett is going to be able to hold on or not, or if aLive's going to pull a miracle. If aLive was to go through in first place after beating Mara 2-0 and then was able to beat Scarlett as well, I think this could be quite remarkable for him, but it is about to continue momentarily here to see if Scarlett can defend against this. Just seconds away from finding out if she can or not. An incredibly tense moment.
Well, I think that this is... What's your opinion on this situation? Because I'm actually, I'm in this game looking at this right now, and there's 5 Marines right next to the hatchery. 1 bunker is almost halfway done, the other one's finished. The 2 spines very early on, and not only do they have to finish, they have to walk forward and burrow.
I think that this hatchery's going down, Autosis. That's what I think.
I think the hatchery's going down, and the game is probably going to end.
Yeah, and I think Scarlett may start to know this too. If you know, a professional player that's played so many different games and so many of the same scenario like this.
Yes.
Once that first bunker is up and a second one it's on its way, I think it's ready to go, man. I think this may not be able to continue on.
Yeah. Well, they're just checking on things, making sure everything's fine. You got to give her the fighting chance of having a good latency with the game. But yeah, I think she's even thinking right now, ooh, I'm probably dead. If I hold this, he messed up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So it looks like the game is going to begin now once again, and we'll see if this is going to be defendable.
All right, we're going to go ahead and try the unpause on this game. And yeah, it looks much, much better now. So there we go.
All right, this hatchery's taking fire already, Autosis.
It's a lot of fire, but you know what? If the hatchery lives, it can have 1 hit point left, you know, as long as it ends up living.
Can Scarlett make the defense here? She's trying to get a couple of... there's 7 odd Marines, there's 3 in the bunker, and there's 4 out.
Really good mic right
go
here.
Down here.
This is... aLive is just doing too good of a job. This is a lot of Marines pushing out. He's forced to cancel already in one of the spines. He's killed off a lot of Scarlet Slings. The Queens are coming down, but I don't think it's enough. 4 more SCVs even coming to make sure the job gets finished.
Well, a great start here for aLive in this best of 3. Not too many people thinking he can do it, but he's opened it up quite aggressively in that hatchery. Only 70 odd hit points left. Scarlett goes in because she has to soon, otherwise she's going to lose it. The Queens take a bit of damage. The hatchery is so close to full, but look at the amount of damage being dealt.
Even with SCVs falling there, there's plenty left over, and down it goes. Way too much loss for Scarlett so far. Both players pretty low on supply with only 15 SCVs versus 15 drones, but the thing is, Zerg can't be on one base.
Yeah, and aLive looks like, you know, he's going to just be able to move up here with 12 Marines. No Zergling speed, only 7 Zerglings left. aLive is going to do it. GG picks up map number 1 here, Autosis, and things just got a little bit more difficult for the Canadian.
It certainly did. You can't underestimate a player like aLive who is willing to do absolutely any strategy. He did veto the 2 maps that she beat MMA on. He's not playing the macro games. She did say that she's weak against this type of cheese play. So, you know, this is...
Would you ever do it twice, Autosis? Would you ever do it twice?
Double 11 racks? Absolutely, Apollo. Absolutely. Why not? You know, that's... He just crushed her with it. We'll have to see exactly what the next map is. I can't quite remember which one. But some maps are good for double 11 racks, and some maps really not as good. For instance, if it's Whirlwind, you probably don't want a double 11. Because you don't know where they're at.
It was a great decision to do it on Belcher Vestige too. I don't think Scarlett expected that to happen. And looking back onto the previous series as well, is she didn't drone scout in game number 1. It was game number 2 that she did, thinking that would be the fallback strategy, but not to open this series up.
Good point. Really good point there. I wonder if he actually got to see that. That was the way she was playing. Next map is Derelict Watcher. What do you think? Does he do something crazy all-in-y like that again, or does he sit back and maybe play a macro game?
I think he sits back this time. I really don't think we'll see a 2 racks again, and I'm quite sure we'll see a drone scout just in case anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I don't think we're going to see nothing too crazy from aLive, and we'll fall back on trying his best here, and then maybe game number 3 something else can come out. He's got a game advantage. He's got a game in the bag. He has that fallback option.
Well, all right. We'll see. Just waiting for, you know, Sella to finish giving a little pep talk there to Scarlett. That is what being a good team manager is all about, going in, calming them down if that's what they need.
Well, remember the trigger to victory could be that nerve. And if the nerves shine through for Scarlett, this could be, in fact, a 0-2. Despite Scarlett beating aLive before, aLive's got a bucket load of experience on these big stages, knows what it takes to win tournaments. Scarlett's not quite there yet, but definitely is on the way forward, so we'll see if she can do it now.
Well, it looks like our players are in the game, or almost in the game at least.
What do you think that's going through Scarlett's mind now? Is what do you think?
I think she's angry. I think she's actually very angry at that last game because you know, she knows that that's her weakness. She did say it in an interview right before the match, and then aLive just does it to her and kills her. She didn't get to show very much of her skill at all. She just didn't scout it quick enough to even attempt a good hold. So I think she's frustrated with that, and probably, as you said, Apollo, we're going to see drone scouts. And she's going to try her best to get into that macro game and kill aLive off like she did in WCS NA.
Well, right now the map is not actually, I'm just looking at the admin and the players. The map was loaded to be Derelict Watcher, but it seems to be like it's Whirlwind, in fact. As both players thought it was Whirlwind. This is why the confusion of not starting this next map is. So now it's a little bit of a different situation, as both players now just get ready to be invited into this next game. Whirlwind. This is definitely not a map for a 2 barracks here.
No, this is absolutely not that map. But there's some crazy builds you can do here. You know, you could open with some sort of Banshee play. You could open with a fast Hellion drop of some sort. You could go for like a Marauder Hellion timing attack.
Yeah.
And you could just go for a macro game overall as well. You know, we've seen quite a few Terrans nowadays. It used to be a map where if you ever tried to macro against a Zerg, you would lose every time. But more recently, Terrans have been fighting back here.
They have been fighting back here, but is aLive strong enough to fight back against Scarlett once she unleashes her power, which we saw in 2 games in a row versus MMA. Didn't even get the chance to show what she's made of in that map, as aLive cleaned it up before it could even begin. But now going on to Whirlwind is definitely a map here which Scarlett may and should be able to get comfortably into her stride.
I think you're right about that. So I'm really interested in what aLive is actually choosing to do here, which is, it's funny because in the first series I was really interested in what Scarlett was going to do, but here I feel like aLive is going to be the more versatile player overall. So we'll see. I'm sure he's thinking about it very deeply right now, like, okay, am I sure about the strategy that I've chosen? But what is that strategy? If you had to tell him how to play this game, what would it be?
I'd play absolutely normal, but I'd be very heavy on scouting with my Hellions. And I think if
Reaper opening or just like command first?
Command first.
Okay.
Command first here. Trying to get Reapers to get much intel is a bit more difficult. We'll see how he's going to play out. I expect a normal game from aLive, but anything is possible here at the WCS Season 2 Finals, as we're about to begin this next map between these 2 players. It could be the last game of our evenings here.
It could be.
Could be seeing another map. We're about to find out. Team Acer versus Team EG on Whirlwind.
Starting off in the bottom right, she's down a game against a player she thought she could destroy. Make some noise for Acer Scarlett.
And up here to the top right, currently leading this series, it is EG's aLive.
Well, as far as positions go, I personally like the positions for aLive quite a bit more. The back of Scarlett's base is facing towards aLive, so as we get into the later game, drops are going to be a little bit easier for him to pull off.
Yeah, I completely agree, because the front of Scarlett's bases are always going to be a little bit exposed to any pushes, and dealing with those drops at the back, depending on how this game, folds out a little bit, we'll see how that's going to take shape. Command Center first is the choice from aLive. If you were Coach Artosis, if your name was Coach Artosis, what would you be telling Scarlett in that booth?
I would tell her, send out a drone scout, maybe not on Whirlwind, because if aLive has the balls to try to guess where you are and just throw down a couple of racks, is good for him. But I would say, get into your macro game. That's it. As simple as that. Scout well. Make sure that it's not some sort of crazy all-in coming at you like a mid-game all-in. And play your macro game, because I think if they hit that location on this map for very layer-heavy play with so many, Lings and Banelings and Mutas, should be able to hold, no problem. And
look at this.
Whoa!
Well, she did spot the Command Center really early on with this Overlord, so 3 hatchery opening here by Scarlett. Also, aLive delayed his barracks a little bit, if you noticed. Got the gas first, then the barracks. So he's going to be able to get quite a fast factory in this game, faster than it is usually with a Command Center first.
And Scarlett, in the meantime, is going to have quite a few hatches to work with. But do you think she's going to go into a pretty quick gas for speed, or is she going to focus a little bit more heavily on queens?
I think queens.
I would prefer that here. She really needs to connect that creep as quickly as possible if she wants to be able to mine from the third base.
And mining from that third base is pretty important if that's the main focus of your opening here. But aLive's going to have a bit of a better position than he would usually, just because the factory's a little bit faster. He's going to have the connection in between the natural and third. He's going to have Hellions in the middle of it. It will become difficult for Scarlett to use queens to creep spreader efficiently to get to these bases.
A lot of greed going on from both sides here. Now, what does aLive actually follow up to this? Do you think he should continue to tech? Should he grab a couple eBays? Should he grab that third command center? Because there's a lot of options open for him.
Well, he's already chosen to throw down the second gas here. And with the second gas coming in, it looks like we may even see in these positions. Imagine a second factory coming in. Something crazy
Whoa,
like
it could
that,
be. You know
Autosis.
what? The double factory builds are not as popular anymore, but they are something you can do.
There's a starport though. And with the starport, he's not going to be able to afford another factory with this anytime soon. But, I mean, there's two options that really stick out. It's going over for Banshees here, or the wild one, which is the armory, which you saw MMA attempt earlier on.
I don't think this is an armory one. I'm not feeling it here. Normally you'd see the armory start before the starport. So, you know, I think it's starting to look to me like it's going to be Banshee Hellion, which is actually, it's a build that's rotated back into the metagame a little bit. And aLive, when he was at the top of his game, this was one of his builds.
Look at this though, a Viking's been made. And then a Marauder behind it, using the gas for Marauder production.
Well, that now the Marauder could be just in case any sort of roach shenanigans occur, but with the Viking, aLive can push out all the Overlords and make it very hard to scout whatever it is that he does choose to do.
Well, there is a roach wearing down, and 6 roaches are being made. It's more so to deal with the Hellions here, I feel, than anything else.
Yeah,
And well, he's only getting a couple of drone kills here. Nice save of one drone, but the others... Oh, they get roasted. Nice pick up there by aLive, who ends up picking 6 drones off.
That's actually a pretty big deal at this point in the game. Scarlett still definitely has that supply lead, but that's because aLive is teching so heavily. So we'll have to see exactly what this tech is. We do have a couple Widow Mines on the way and a medevac now.
Yeah, and a second bunker coming down as well there. Spotting the roaches really early in this game. It's very, you know, uncharacteristic of Scarlett to throw roaches into this game so early on.
Yeah.
And behind it is drones and evolution chambers, but in aLive's mind, he doesn't know if more units are coming, so he is playing it out quite safe.
And that's right to do, you know, unless he had full information. Better safe than sorry. You know, he's already won game number 1. No sense in taking a chance right here.
Well, look at this. More drones going down, and aLive finds his way into the mineral line again here. Roasts every drone on that mineral line, going up to 12 kills now.
Oh boy.
And then a rock-solid defense here. Widow Mines escaping from the natural, and with no overload, which was cleaned up from the Viking. At least there is a spore crawler there.
So, this is a double Widow Mine drop with a Viking that kind of cleared the path, but there's actually spores up, so I'm not sure that this is actually going to do anything at all for aLive. But
no, it's a good attempt. I think it's really good vision to try this. And he's gonna, you know, deny a bit of mining time here as they do burrow down. It's gonna force the lift up with the spore crawl and the chain. So he even gets 3 drones there, I think that was.
Well, you know, as long as he's killing something with these drops, that's always very nice, especially after those first drone kills with the Hellions.
But a switch of style coming in from Scarlett. +1 attack coming for the roaches. Roach speed on the way as well. But she's been slowed down a lot. There's a Widow Mine still there.
Yeah, she's
making
dealt with
mistakes.
that.
I've seen a couple of supply blocks already in this game. Another one's
Uh-oh.
apparent right now.
And another little batch of drones go down. This is actually, we're up to 16 drones killed at this point.
16 drone kills here, more overlords coming in as well. And Scarlett's beginning roach production very heavily. But there are many bunkers. There are quite a few marauders here as well. I don't think this is breakable at all.
aLive is actually reading Scarlett like a book right now. It really does look like she wants to hit a little 1-1 timing.
Oh, this drop is absolutely fantastic considering the circumstances here. The roaches are moving out. The drop is coming in. A lot of drones could be roasted. aLive is playing really good here. Really good.
And right now the Hellions going into that mineral line. The drones trying to defend for themselves because all the roaches are across the map. Oh man, and 9 more roaches popping out, but...
And these roaches are going to get denied
No.
so hard here. Scarlett's going to go up and one Widow Mine goes off and Scar says, what is going on? I beat MMA 2-0 so easily before, and now 2-2 comes in. Now the extra drones, now the Hydralisk Den and Extractors as well. But in return, there have been... Autosis, many a drone slayed this night.
Okay, yes, there many a drone have lost their lives. It's a sad day indeed. 29 going down. But you know what? I really like this out of Scarlett. She's going into Hydras. because this is the one composition that may be able to help her to come back from here. She has all these roaches that are almost worthless, but if you mix in, that's right, Carmack is a great host. It's in my contract, he has to do this for me. But it's a great idea to actually make these Hydras and make a composition that's going to be very hard to deal with.
Well, 4 Marauder dropped, Spore Crawler down, Queen down as well, a drone or 2, and aLive is playing very, very well here. I don't think anybody expected this. I definitely didn't. He picks up 1 Marauder that was low in health. He's doing more damage to the drone line, and Scarlett is falling victim here to a couple of sly moves coming out from aLive with perfect defense behind it. 37 drones.
Oh man, Scarlett is in a lot of trouble here, Apollo. But
the biggest thing though, even though we've seen a lot of drones going down, and oh my gosh, maybe more. Oh, this could be big.
Oh, okay,
that's nasty.
Here's my question: Is Scarlett on tilt, or does aLive just have her number right now?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. aLive's playing very well. He's playing very well to who he's playing against, and it's a bit of nerves maybe from Scarlett. She's getting outplayed a little bit. It's affecting her that game 1. But the big thing to remember, despite all the drone kills, aLive, it's 14 minutes. He's still not mining from a 3rd base, and this is one of the biggest things in this game, which is giving Scarlett a breath of fresh air and hope in this game. But that is a very strong army to deal with.
It is that. Well, we do have pathogen glands on the way. 2-2 is almost done, whereas aLive just does not have such good upgrades on only 1-1. So maybe Scarlett holds us once these Hydras pop out and the upgrades finish.
Yeah, that could be quite good actually. 2-2 upgrades over 1-1. That is quite good actually. 51 drone kills in total now for aLive.
That number just keeps going up, Apollo.
Keeps going up. Sometimes they don't even see the number go up.
But you know what? Scarlett, again, giving herself a shot here. And, in fact, will kind of kill this army off. Definitely force aLive to retreat at the minimum.
This is good, but there is a counterplay coming in. If anybody noticed, there were units missing from that, and it comes to the main base. Scarlett on the other side of the map does not have a lot to defend this, and at the same time, she's going to attack to the 3rd base. She's going to lose a lot at home, but can she deal a lot away?
I don't even know about that. Half the units getting caught outside that 3rd base. In the meantime, yeah, she's forcing all the SCVs to run, but don't forget that command center can just lift off.
That command center can lift off. There's bunkers on the low ground getting repaired. Scarlett's equal in supply, but that's not too good for her. She does have better upgrades, but the problem is if we look in the production tab, 2-2 is on the way. If 2-2 completes for aLive's Marauders against these roaches, I fear for their lives like the drones before them.
Indeed, and in fact, Scarlett is kind of... Look at this move, all right, because she got pathogen glands, because she was thinking, okay, I'll go into infestors, it makes sense, but after taking so much damage, she's taking the risk, she's going up to Greater Spire. Whoa.
The drones fight back, Autosis.
They do.
The drones fight back.
The drones aren't putting up with this anymore. 54 of them have already lost their lives.
What do you make about the Greater Spire here, by the way?
Well, you know what? I actually kind of like it. It's a risky thing. This composition is something you almost never get to practice against. She is mixing in a few infestors, but this is going to give a lot of body underneath those Broodlords, which means it's going to be very hard to actually snipe them.
And the one thing that... That was a squeal.
Yeah.
The one thing that is working with Scarlett's favor, it's unscouted. And with the Hive coming down, sure, the Hive makes sense, but the Greater Spire doesn't, because it's 3 bases, it's not a lot of money to make a lot of Broodlords. I'd expect Vipers of all units here. It's a very strong combination recently.
That's what I thought she was going to go into, but I think I get it. I think I see what's going on. She's just making an army that aLive isn't going to be able to really kill off.
Yeah, there is no Vikings. There's nothing to get towards the Broodlords, but can she get there in time, and can she have enough of them? Because aLive is dropping again. He's at 185 supply.
Oh, he's going to get the Hive! And that is really bad for Scarlett. That means she's stuck on the tech she's already chosen, which is Broodlord tech.
That's right, she's got to make it work now, but at the same time, she's getting dropped on the left-hand side. She's losing creep in the middle of the map as well. aLive is playing a really good game. I don't think too many people expected him to bring this performance here against Scarlett. Maybe a couple of people thought it was a fluke against Mora, but one thing's for certain, aLive is playing better than he expected. He's living up to his WCS rank. He's like rank number 7 worldwide at the moment, and it is showing.
Well, he's on the brink of becoming the top 8 for the season finals, so it fits, man, it fits. We have him moving forward. He's going to be able to take out this hatchery. But Scarlett is making a Broodlord. Will it be enough?
And now the Corruptors have even been spotted. This surely must trigger aLive's senses to realize what's going on.
Yes.
Additional starports should be coming down. We already see one in the production tab. He's broken down one of these expansions. He's going to drop in the main base. I wouldn't be surprised to see him drop around the left-hand side again, as you pointed out, that it is nice to be able to drop these later expansions.
Well, we have some upgrades finishing for Scarlett, which is nice, but with 3-3 on the way, the amount of drone kills continuing to go up, the constant denial of mining in the main base, bringing all the roaches back all the time to fight these drops. I don't know, man. That single Broodlord is looking less and less cool to me every moment.
I am very impressed with aLive's performance here today. Remarkable if he's able to go 4-0 in this group. I don't think a single person predicted him to go through very well. You know, top 2, and he's looking at number 1 at the moment.
A lot of upsets so far on this day 1, but very fun ones indeed. More infestors being added. There is another couple Broodlords out now, so that's nice. 3 Broodlords. We're starting to get to a number that's almost reasonable. I feel like she needs more like 7 or 8, though, to really have an army that's going to be that scary.
And especially now these Vikings are starting to come out. Well, I don't think they're actually... There's only 2 at the moment. It's not that many. Ooh, that was a missed fungal. Could have been a nice one.
A couple Marauders coming down to try to snipe that. Not going to work out. And, well, you know what? The drops just, they're never going to stop. This is... I almost wish that some Corruptors were kind of patrolling that area right now, because aLive is getting more than the value you would expect out of drops this game.
Yeah, aLive is very clearly winning this game at this moment, but I want to ask you a question, Autosis.
Yes.
Do you think Scarlett changing style and strategy was the right decision, considering she never even showed her true potential with Zergling and Banelings and Mulas against aLive? Game 1 didn't even go past the 5-minute mark, really.
That is true, but I think in this game it was smart in this situation, because aLive did so much damage to her early on, she had to mix it up. If she played a standard game, aLive knows how to clear that out easily.
And now he's mining off 4 bases, a 5th command center on the way, an incredible income, a lot of Vikings on the way as Drilling Claws now comes into the game too. A single spine crawler, not really going to do too much here.
Well, you know what, Apollo, I do want to say, she's forcing a lot of Vikings right now out of aLive, and there's only 3 Broodlords, so as she maxes out with mostly a Hydra Roach, maybe that much dead supply helps her to win a couple battles.
Yeah, I really think aLive saying, you know what, I'll overbuild Vikings because that's the only real scare I have. Roaches and Hydras, the longer the game goes on, the weaker they become, especially considering the upgrades that aLive now has for these units.
Well, these drops never ending, really abusing the fact that there's just no way to stop them, even though there's Corruptors out, just not fast enough against those medevacs. And Scarlett's going to have to push pretty soon, Apollo.
Yeah, well, I think aLive's going to push eventually himself anyway, so it's either one of them, isn't it?
One of them has to, but if I'm Scarlett here, I'm getting really scared of the 4 mining bases of aLive.
And well, Scarlett seems to be marching forward a little bit here. Let's see if aLive can do this. He's up to 193. Likewise is Scarlett, but aLive's had a lot of time to build an army that he thinks is good enough to beat out Scarlett. He scans, he has a look, sees not too many Broodlords. 4 more are getting morphed in.
Okay, so we're going to actually have to see a good fungal so that the Hydras can actually take out the Vikings. That's going to be, I think, the point of contention in the next battle. Can those Vikings be taken out? Uh-oh.
Fungal onto those units there. Oh, hello.
That's one good one. Need more than that, though.
Need more than that, and unfortunately, Otto says she's out of infestors.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue. Well, the Hydra's coming forward, but 3 Broodlords already falling.
Yeah, the infestation pit was picked off by the looks of it. I didn't think Scarlett noticed. She has to rebuild it now. Wow. 3 Marines have found their way into the main base as well.
Well, this is like some sort of cursed graveyard here of drones, man. The amount of drones killed at this point is up to 96.
That's a lot.
97 even.
It's more than a lot.
It's quite a few.
That's quite a few. Scarlett trying to figure out a way to get back into this game. Considering the amount of pressure that she's been under with all these drops of aLive slowing her down, she's on 4 bases, or at least 4 gas bases for now, because the main base is kind of out of minerals. She's not out of it yet, though.
No, she's still got a standing army that, if aLive messes up for a second, could end up killing his army. So she's going to stay in it. She's going to keep on trying. 5 more Infestors on the way. That's a really good start. There are 17 Vikings out against 4 Broodlords.
Even the Vikings are starting to turn the tide against these Corruptors, and if the Hydras aren't there. I mean, where is Scarlett's victory? If it's anywhere, where is it? What with excluding the fungals, what else?
It's one gigantic attack. It's one attack that the fungals hit what they need to hit, and either the Vikings are dead weight, or she takes the Vikings out and really focuses more heavily on Broodlords. But I think it has to basically be one push.
Well, one weakness of going for Broodlords is the mobility of it, and well, that's being exploited right now with a drop on the left-hand side, a big drop in the main base, a couple of those expensive Infestors getting picked off.
Yeah,
as
2
well
or
as
3
Corruptors.
dying off so quickly here. aLive just dealing damage absolutely everywhere, and look at his bank, Paul. He's up to 5k, 2k. Little counterattack by Scarlett is nice, but just looking at the banks, it makes me fear for her life.
Well, Scarlett is starting to crawl back in, maybe. Nice little counterattack with these roaches, dealing a good amount of damage to this SCV line. That's something that was needed and is going to help out. aLive is dropping in supplies, dropping in income. Can Scarlett make the comeback possible here? There are so many Vikings, that's so scary to look at.
In fact, there's about to be 20 of them.
Hydras.
Well, I feel like that's almost dangerous that he keeps on buying that many Vikings, because seriously, if they clump up for a second, you get 2 fungals off and your Hydras and Corruptors attack them, they're all dead. And then you have to start over, and they aren't cheap.
They are not cheap at all, not at this part of the game. But aLive is playing very well here. Definitely didn't expect this to come out from him, so all credit goes to aLive here, who's got quite a bit of money banked up too, which is always going to help when it comes to fighting Scarlett, who is down in resources.
And down in supply greatly, 140 to 188 right now. She's down to just 31 drones.
Not too much of an income for either player, 43 to 33. I guess, of course, there are mules here, which helps out aLive a little bit, but still a kind of low income game. But, whoa, I mean, when these armies finally meet, I still can't see a way that Scarlett can beat aLive's army. I mean, Infestors are locked and ready to go. This seems to be the key. This is the key, the Infestors.
Yeah, it's everything, really. Now, we actually see the Vikings being spread a lot. aLive wants to do like an attack move here, but there's a lot of fungal growth potential.
Well, there's one fungal that goes down there. Another one gets a good amount of these Vikings. The Raven gets locked in as well here. aLive needs to not lose all these.
Uh-oh, that is a lot of fungals still coming down. The Corruptors moving forward. Marines stimming and coming, but the Hydra's coming to the battle now as well. The thing is, all those Vikings still alive. Some of them starting to fall.
They're all low, but they're all still alive, and all the Broodlords, the Corruptors are gone, and Scarlett drops in supply. And aLive is playing very well here. 128 supply to 70 in army. And with the drops continuing on and just movements around the map, it looks like aLive may have finally broken Scarlett.
It does look like it. Scarlett, to even be in this game still, has played phenomenally in that regard. You know, she should have been dead several times, but she's holding on, trying to get some more counterattacks down. You know, the bank is gone now for aLive, or at least mostly gone, so you know, maybe if she can kill this standing army off, something works out.
Well, the Vikings do go down, but remember all the money that aLive has. Yes, he's taking damage to roaches, but he's going to be able to replenish a lot of this. A lot of this, with more and more units streaming in, drops just happening left and right.
That hatchery's been killed about 4 times now. We're up to 117 drone kills this game as well. Scarlett just doesn't have much economy left. She's basically mining off of one base right now.
Yeah, and that's not enough to support against what aLive has. With a bunch of tanks here and a lot of more reinforcements coming down, Medivac still plenty around the map. Widow Mine still even activated around the map. Here comes aLive, and this very well may where we see him take first place in 4-0 in Group D.
Yeah, that is exactly what we're seeing here. At this point, Scarlett has basically no chance left. She's down by 100 supply, and I mean,
the
now
greatest spy goes down, and you know there's not much left. What Roach, Hydra, Infestors, and Slow Zerglings. I don't know what's left here for Scarlett Autosis, but aLive is doing it. He's doing it. He's moving down. Scarlett's still counterattacking as he's been evacuated from his third base once again here by a couple of Roaches, which have been very consistent with their harassment, picking up quite a few kills across them all. But Scarlett here has one army, and it's not really going to be remade. It's a lot of Infestors. It's a handful of Hydras, and I mean a handful. It's like 6.
yeah, that's less than a handful, I would say. 6 Roaches as well. The 7 Infestors are literally her entire army. It's the only thing that matters, but there's just too much from aLive.
Well, way too much from aLive. 184 supply to 52. Another drop on this left-hand side. GG! aLive has done it despite losing to Scarlett in WCS America Premier League. He's done it here today. First place, Autosis, first place.
First place indeed, EG having a great showing so far. Scarlett pretty unhappy with that. She felt confident going in against aLive, but he chose the right strategies. He executed them well.
Played very well against Scarlett.
And
not just another Zerg. Against Scarlett, he played very well.
At the end of the day, it is aLive that moves on in first place.
Yeah, congratulations to aLive. Scarlett must continue to fight tomorrow, as she will now play in the final match. And Autosis, it will be against Maru.
Ooh, can Scarlett take out Maru?
A big game tomorrow for Scarlett.
I think Maru's going to come back refreshed with a clean mindset, and that's going to be a hard one for sure.
That will be a definite hard one for the Canadian here if she wants to move into the round of 8. Very difficult indeed, but we have our 4th first place finisher of the day. It is EG's aLive, and what a performance he gave. We didn't get to see the games versus Maru earlier, but I'm sure with 2-0, he must have done something right, Autosis.
Yeah, he did more than something right, Apollo. He played fantastically. So, you know, the kind of as like a wrap-up to who we've seen advance. It's 3 Terrans and a Zerg. Amazing players, each and every one of them. Who are you most excited about? Are the people that have already advanced?
Jaedong.
Jaedong. I would have to agree, even though Tasia is playing, I think, the best out of everybody. The fact that Jaedong is one of those 4 is amazing to me.
And Protoss players have dropped. There's been a couple of Protoss players already dropped. There's a couple of players facing elimination. I think, you know, Jaedong could do very well at this tournament, but I'd be interested to see Scarlett play again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Remember, if you're still here watching us now, that all the final place matches games will be played out tomorrow. Back to back before we hit the quarterfinals. Every game counts tomorrow. It's basically a 12-player bracket remaining here at the WCS Season 2 finals.
It's going to be awesome, so make sure you tune in there. But for right now, let's go ahead and throw it over to Chobra for an interview with aLive.
All right, we are here for the last interview of the day, and it is with no one else other than aLive from Team Evo Geniuses with a clean 2-0. Give him a big round of applause. Now, of course, we have to ask the question. You know, Scarlett wanted aLive to move on to this match, was expecting to win, and now aLive with, I guess, a bit of an upset in this 2-0. We got to ask how he feels. 저희 이제 이전 매치에서 스칼렛 선수가 이긴 후에 aLive 선수가 올라왔으면 좋겠다. 그러면 매치가 쉬울 것 같다. 그렇게 말씀하셨어요. 2대0으로 이기셨는데 기분이 어떠세요?
일단 저번에 아메리카에서 제가 3대0으로 너무 손쉽게 져가지고 스칼렛 선수가 그렇게 생각한 것 같은데, 여기 오기 전에 저도 만약에 스칼렛 선수랑 승자전에서 하면은 무조건 올라올 거라 생각했고, 스칼렛 선수가 저한테 워낙 자신 있어 해가지고 안전한 플레이를 하시는 것 같은데, 저는 그거에 맞춰서 좀 올인성 전략을 준비했어요.
Wow, so aLive says, yeah, you know, Scarlett, I think Scarlett thought that because I lost kind of easily 3-0 in WCS America, but I knew coming into WCS season finals that if I had a chance to meet Scarlett in the winners match, I was confident to win. And I kind of used the fact that Scarlett is overconfident against me. So I predicted that Scarlett would always go for these safe builds and just play her own strategy. I used that against her to prepare catered builds to take advantage of her comfort and win 2-0. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to move on in these tournaments. 자, 그러면 그렇게 준비를 하셨다고 하셨는데 첫째 게임에는 이제 11-11 그렇게 하셨고 둘째 게임에는 또 처음부터 일벌레를 그냥 계속 잡으셨어요. 나중에 한번 중간에 확인했을 땐 89마리나 벌써 잡으셨는데 첫째 게임에 대해서 말씀해 주세요. 그거는 그냥 무조건 그렇게 할 준비가 되셨던 건가요?
네, 바로 그 빌드를 생각했고 원래 두 번째 세트에서도 2인용 맵이면은 또 5인성을 준비했었는데 불행해도 맵을 4인용 맵으로 되었고 이왕 이렇게 된 거 제가 저번에 진 거 복구도 할 겸 그래가지고 운영 싸움을 준비했었어요.
And talking about that, you know, 2 bunkers proxied, and he says, yeah, that I came in with that plan. I knew that was going to be what I started the whole match with, and I actually had another all-in prepared if the second map was going to be a 2-player map, but it ended up being 4 players, so I said, you know what, this is a good chance for me to prove myself after that 3-0 last time, kind of take back my stance and say, I can also play against you in any setting, and I decided to go for macro play. So 그러면 둘째 게임에서 중간에 40마리, 그다음에 89마리 그렇게 계속 일벌레를 잡으셨는데 그냥 그때는 언제쯤 이제 내가 이길 수 있겠다 생각하셨어요? 아니면 그냥 계속 꾸준히 안전하게 하신 거예요?
제가 워낙 유리했는데 이렇게 게임을 좀 끄는 감이 없지 않아 있어가지고 제 자신한테 좀 실망했고 제 저그전의 단점이라면 바로 이런 게 좀 끌어가는 게 워낙 단점이어가지고 스칼렛 선수한테도 저번 아메리카에서 다 역전당해가지고 많이 화가 났었는데 이번 게임은 제가 워낙 유리해가지고 끌려도 제가 이길 수 있었던 것 같고 제가 끌리면은 너무 긴장을 해가지고 언제 이길 거라는 확신은 안 했고요. 그냥 6시에서 제가 밀 때 거기서 이제 표정이 밝아졌던 것 같아요.
And talking about his macro game in that second set, aLive says, you know, I think that's actually my weakness, that I get ahead against Zergs and then I drag it out a little bit too long. I start dragging out the match. And so today, I think it was safe because I was way in the lead, but I was still a little bit worried about that. So I didn't think about, you know, when I would be able to win or anything. I was actually pretty nervous until I started that push in that 6 o'clock base. And that's when I started being able to, you know, smile a little bit more and be more confident in my win. 자, 그러면 이제 마지막으로 오늘 8강 진출하셨어요. 그냥 그거에 대해서 소감 한마디 하시고 대회 그럼 가고 좀 말씀해 주세요.
네, 일단 이렇게 생각 외로 1등으로 올라와가지고 무척 기쁘고요. 그 올라온 만큼 더 열심히 해야 될 것 같고 저 같은 경우는 이번에 시즌8 오게 된 계기가 좀 특별해요. 짐 선수한테 감사하다는 말 전하고 싶고 한편으로는 미안하고 그 선수를 생각해서라도 더 열심히 해야 될 것 같고요. 모든 사람이 제가 바로 떨어질 거라고 예상했지만 제가 이렇게 좀 예상 외로 1위로 올라온 만큼 더 관심 주셨으면 좋겠고 저도 그만큼 보답하도록 더 좋은 경기를 보여드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
And to wrap it up, just shouting out to his fans and also anyone else here, aLive says, you know, I know a lot of people expected me to actually drop out in the group stage, but here I'm finishing first, and of course, we talked about this earlier, a little bit of a special case for aLive to be here. So he says, you know, I do want to send my sympathy out to Jim, but in a way, thank you for the opportunity. And because of that, I want to try even better now that I'm going into the round of 8. And that's it for aLive. Give another big round of applause. And now we're going to send it over to Red Eye to wrap up the day for us.
Thank you very much, Chobo. Congratulations to aLive. I'm joined by our fine gentlemen casters, Mr. Apollo and Artosis, to talk through the day itself. It's been a fantastic day, Sean. I mean, I don't know where to start. MC J-Dong, Scarlett's first match. What's been the highlight?
I think the highlight for me was watching J-Dong at the start of the day, just being able to see him overcome something I don't even think he truly believed he could do himself. Seeing him fist pump at every map win is something that's very weird to see from J-Dong, because J-Dong's a player that usually goes in and is like, I'm going to crush you, and then I'll be happy eventually after I win, or if not happy at all. But every map mattered to him, and seeing that was really impressive today.
Yeah, it was. Luckily, you didn't tweet anything about him winning, so that worked well, right?
This is my life. You know, it was great to see Jaedong do so well, but for me, that one game, Innovation versus Tasia, that game, oh my God, that game. I will remember that game for a very long time to come.
Yeah, we've been very blessed today, actually, to have some fantastic games on day one, and this is just day one of 3. Just going through the list of players that have gone through, we've got Jaedong, Bomber, Tasia, and aLive. That's maybe not the 4 that we picked out before the tournament, but it's a strong 4, though.
Yeah, it's a strong 4. They're playing fantastically, so even if they're not exactly who you expected, these guys are basically all champions anyways.
Yeah. And we start, I was going to say we start tomorrow with the 4, I hate to say it, losers finals in the morning to see who goes through the quarterfinals. We've got MC Rain, First versus Polt, Duck Duck versus Naniwa, who took out Innovation, and Scarlett versus Maru. I mean, where do you go with that lot?
I mean, that's just a crazy set of games. I'm not really sure which I'm looking forward to most, but I think I'd have to edge it towards Scarlett again. Having a night's rest, it's been a very long day for all the players. I think that she'd be able to come back and maybe be able to beat, you know, the WCS Korean Premier League champion there.
What do you reckon?
I mean, that would be amazing if she could do such a thing. You know, it felt like she kind of fell apart against aLive there, and Maru's going to look into this. I think we're going to see some more cheesy play from him. He's definitely done it in the past. It's going to be a hard match.
Definitely going to be a hard match. I want to make a quick word as well for the 4 players who didn't make it through. We're down to 12 from the original 16. Just listen to this list. Wellmu, Grubby, Innovation and MMA. None of those 4 will be back tomorrow, and I don't think any of us had that collection of 4 players.
Certainly not, especially with Innovation. He's so good, and he actually played pretty fantastically, at least in the match that I casted, but I mean, this is the WCS Season 2 Finals. If you don't play your best games, and even if you do, you might end up losing, even if you're the best in the world.
Absolutely right. So I've got the quarterfinal draw on this card right now. I don't know if do we have the graphics to throw this one up? I'm not sure if we do. I'll wait for production to throw them up for you at home. But I'm going to go through them, and you don't know this, so actually we do have them. So let's put them up for you. It's going to be aLive versus First or Polt. Jaedong will play Duck Duck or Naniwa. Tasia will play MC or Rain, and Bomber gets Maru or Scarlett.
Wow. Oh my God, I would give anything to be able to see and cast Jaedong versus Naniwa again. The return of one of the most epic matches I've ever seen at a DreamHack.
Yeah, that's definitely a major highlight. We both casted the finals of that together, and it was incredible, absolutely incredible. And I would love to see that again. But I mean, just the overall bracket is incredible. It's really strong bracket there.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, I don't know where to start. I mean, I'm already excited for tomorrow when I come back in right away. And actually, that's a good point, because we will be back in pretty early tomorrow morning. Games kick off from 10 a.m. CEST with MC versus Rain. That's our first matchup. So, what's your highlight out of that lot?
MC versus Rain. I mean, this is a hard one, because Rain generally is considered to be better than MC, but MC knows how to win and will play very well on any stage, and you know he wants to break that $400,000 mark. It's very important, of course. I have no idea on this one. It's too hard to say.
Good news, Artosis hasn't cursed anyone for
I'm just
tomorrow.
gonna be
We've still
quiet.
got 12 players in the game. What's your highlight of today, and what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
I'm just going to repeat what we said earlier. Jaedong definitely his games, and I'd have to repeat what Artosis said. That Innovation versus Tasia game was one of a kind. It was truly something special to watch.
All right, well, thank you very much, gents. Ladies and gentlemen, Apollo and Artosis, who have been fantastic. And don't forget Rotterdam and Funker. And also on stream 2 today as well, we've had a fantastic job done by Kalaris and Todd. We'll see them here on the main stage tomorrow. We're going to finish up with just a quick note for you. If you didn't manage to catch up with everything, you can... this is where TV fails, right? Or maybe not. Here it does. It does work. Fantastic. This is the Blizzard app. If you haven't already downloaded it, go and grab the Blizzard WCS app. You get all the news, all the fixtures, all of the live streams are on there as well. And I know a few of you have been working today. So if you're working over the weekend, sneak the iPhone or the iPad into work, connect it to the internets, and you can watch WCS Season 2 Finals live from Gamescom. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you guys for turning up at Gamescom. We'll see you tomorrow.
this room is out of the roof.
For one of the top tournaments ever in StarCraft 2.
I have to agree, I am so excited to be here at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany.
Oh my god, that one on the left-hand side is so important, and the Zergling's going after it. It looks like, oh my god, Rain has saved it, but the Zergling's go in and kill it off. 1 sentry falling. What is he going to do against these Vipers? He's got to be very careful. He got pulled in. 3 huge abducts. 2 of them fall down already.
I feel this is Jaedong's game. It's going to be right here.
That's it. GG.
Whoa, what a start for Jaedong. Comes in from one side, good forces by MC, but he's got to be careful the backside here. Hydra has come in from behind.
Oh, and this is bad. The Zealots all stuck in there, and beautiful attack here by Jaedong.
The second one will probably fall very, very shortly as well.
GG!
Please welcome Grubby!
What to do is defend. He does have storms. Make sure the EMPs don't land.
Good force fields there do come down. The Stalkers playing forward. A storm as well. The Vikings are falling, but the Colossus die anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point, I don't think. One Colossus instead. Is there any more storms? There has to be more storms here, otherwise he's not going to hold on. And Vomit just looks absolutely dominant here. GG.
Not really committing with most of his army.
Look at that spread of units. Look at it. He's saying, all right, the only way you can win is if you storm my army. But guess what? Can you storm everywhere right now? And this is a beautiful setup. Bomber does it. Of course he does. GG. Bomber takes it 2-0.
It's going to be from STX Seoul Innovation.
Age is coming in, and a big stem does go down. A lot of Hellbats there in the front. They're going to die before the tanks even get sieged. And I'm getting a little bit nervous here for Innovation.
Those tanks are pretty damn exposed. The Thor is there as well, but there are still so many backup tanks. Innovation is losing a crazy amount of siege tanks, but I do think that he will survive.
Well, here we go. This could be it. A huge drop going down on all the siege tanks. The Hellbats actually out of position here, and I think this is it. GG!